What's up, everybody? Tommy here, Math Productions, and this episode picking up where the last one left off on Parima 3, and we're about to run the Red Mile. So this is probably honestly going to be the last episode of the night, the last episode before Shattered Space is available for all to see and to play, and obviously I keep saying it, but once I wake up and I'm available too, and the DLC is available too, then we are absolutely jumping right over to Varun Kai and checking out what the DLC has to offer. So that's why this episode is quite a bit longer than our normal episodes are. There's a whole lot that we try to fit in here before the DLC comes out. Honestly, not a whole lot. I guess we're just trying to wrap up the Freestar faction quest line. We're right there at the end. We're currently finishing up one of the last bits of intel gathering, and to do so we have to run the Red Mile for May, but then after this here there's like one big dungeon and then the wrap up at the end. So hopefully you guys stick with me all the way through the end. It does get pretty intense there for a bit in the middle section, and it's a lot of fun. But we're going to start it out with the Red Mile. First thing, I highly recommend Runner's Rush. It's a drink that's available at the Red Mile, and it makes you faster. It gives you a couple other perks, but it's a fantastic resource to use when you're running the Red Mile. The first time you run it, you gotta wait this, to be fair, maybe every time you run it. I've only ever run it once in any playthrough I've done. I know there's some people out there, I've seen them on Reddit, that have beat Dude's record and have won over and over and over. There is like a little reward that you get if you beat Dude's record. I think it's a weapon, but again, I've only ever run it once. But you got to do that long introduction by May before the doors will open up. But so literally, I have one strategy to share with running the Red Mile successfully. Put your head down, run. That's literally all you have to do. If I had a better skip pack, that would be awesome. Although the gravity is pretty dense in this planet, so you're not going to be able to boost very high for very long anyway. But literally, you have 8 items to boost your health back up as you take hits, or if you take hits. Otherwise, chug your Runner's Rush and just go for it. You literally have a straight shot that you run out, you press a button, you turn right back around, and return from whence you came. And that's literally it. That's running the Red Mile. So I know, even though I know that, every time I'm about to run it, I get a little bit of butterflies in the stomach, a little bit of anticipation that it's going to be more intense than it ultimately ever is. It's never really that intense. It's just a straight shot. But I'm going to quit dogging the Red Mile here. Basically, once you finish up the run, you talk to Autumn, you talk to May, you get intel to go track down Marco on Kodos, which is back in the Cheyenne system, if I recall correctly. So after getting the needed information, we head back to the ship, and we fly out to land at Kodos. We go to the Fortuna, which is Dude's ship. Super gorgeous. It's literally a TARDIS, right? Like, the ship is not this big. You walk inside, it's gorgeous, but way bigger on the outside than it would appear to be on the inside. You talk to this guy. Now, if you were going through the main Constellation quest line and had a Constellation companion with you, they might get mad at you if you offer a deal with this guy and kind of let him go. But for us in the moment, and considering our character, made tons of sense to go ahead and make that deal with him, not get into a shootout with him. But after we get what we need from him, it's another, of course, encrypted slate. Dude is still just there. But we return to the rock, and we give the slate to our new buddy over here, and we set him off to try to crack the code and see what he can figure out. I like this guy. He always is gassing me up, making me feel real good about myself. We come into this conference room and sit down. This is your big indication that you're about to start the penultimate the penultimate quest within the faction quest line. They kind of recap for you how you're doing in the field so far, notes they've received from the other rangers in the field about you and your progress, and you have a chance to give some input on why you may or may not have made the decisions that you did or did not. And then they send you out. They tell you some other farms have been attacked. Stuff's getting real serious, and we got to handle this. So we go ahead and leave from the rock to try to track down where these bad guys, these mercenaries, are hiding out at. And we get attacked by a couple waves of ships. I said literally the other episode I was proud of this ship for handling itself and hanging in there. But we didn't need to get ahead of ourselves and do too much. And wouldn't you know it, I literally forgot all about this. I remembered like all the other stuff that was coming up, and I was totally ready for most of it, but I definitely forgot about the 3 waves of enemy ships. So that's what we're doing here. Luckily, I did take out the targeting systems skill perk. I'm only level 1 in it, but I promise you it is so clutch, not just for targeting specific systems, especially if you're trying to do a lot of pirating or ship boarding or ship stealing. The targeting systems, you have to have it basically to be able to be proficient in those things. But it's also incredibly useful as a defensive tool whenever you're in these aerial dogfights, because of the fact that the targeting system slows down time. One, you still shoot at a fairly rapid pace compared to what they get slowed down to, I believe. That's how it feels, at least. But you can clearly see that it's helping tremendously, right? Like, we can toggle in and out of it, and if they're locked on, we just hit our thrusters and kind of boost off for a second. That's how you get off of the target lock whenever they have one on you, is you just hit your speed boost, if you will, and it kind of breaks that lock. And we took down all of those ships. Again, I cannot state how proud I am of our little ship. It is going strong, and it is keeping us alive. We are literally about to walk into a handful of deaths. I cut all those out. I keep it seamless with my load points. But yeah, just know there is 2 hours of footage on the cutting room floor, because this dungeon that we're walking into and about to try to get through is seriously no joke. It's just wave after wave of strong enemies. We ourselves are not that strong. And the worst thing, so I use those adjectives strong and not strong loosely there. I'm just trying to make excuses for myself, but like honestly, our biggest failure in this, in those multiple deaths, because eventually we get through it, spoiler alert, but our biggest issue was we came so grossly unprepared, it's not even funny. Whether you're talking ammo, specifically if you're talking healing items, even more so if you're talking food and drink, to make sure that we're satisfying our satiation or whatever. Yeah, we grossly messed up in our preparation for this dungeon. We do make it through. Trial and error. We do a little bit of backtracking at times to try to track down some of the loot or some of the items that we need. We end up making just enough luck with our scavenging that we get through to the end. It was close. Again, it's not my most proud run of this dungeon, but literally every single time I try to run this dungeon, I struggle mightily. But the main strategy that I try to employ in this dungeon, one, don't come alone. It's pretty much one of my go-to strategies every time I go into anywhere where there's going to be combat, because I like to control the field as opposed to be the main shield or the main sword for the field. But bring followers, they help. 2, be patient, because there are a lot of enemies, and because of the way that this dungeon is set up, you are continuously like following a singular path down into, and because of that, they are already in and in good defensive positions. Some of them on the ground, a lot of them elevated, pretty much all of them with some form of environmental barricade in between you and them that they can use to hide behind, obviously. Like, there is a lot of good reason to take your time when you're trying to clear this. Otherwise, don't be as low level as me, don't have no starborn powers like me, have a high level, have starborn powers, have some good equipment and some better armor, and then you can run and gun all you want, it won't really matter. But in our current situation, running and gunning would be an absolutely horrible idea. We would just die over and over. And again, I got 2 hours of footage that kind of show that at different times, but we're making our way through slowly but surely. I honestly, actually, have not yet died, like, from the original playthrough. This is still, like, the first time coming down into the dungeon and facing these enemies. I'll point out a couple of the times where I had save points that I ended up reverting back to. A couple of them had more than once reverting back to the same spot. But again, it was only like a handful of deaths ultimately altogether. A couple of them were some pretty sweet grenade throws. Give credit where credit is due. I thought I had a good position to cover, and like I said a couple of times, they threw some pretty nice throws with some grenades. But I thought for a minute that there were people glitched, like, in the wall. When I kept looking up there where that graphic is on the wall, see how you can see that enemy right there? Like, I thought they were glitched in the wall. Eventually I run over towards, here we go, and then I realize, oh, okay, there's just some scaffolding or whatever that's around the corner there. But again, like you can see here, I keep saying the phrase, like, slowly making our way through. We are making progress, like, slowly but surely. There is just so many enemies to clear through. And as you are starting to see now is when I'm starting to realize and starting to panic, OMG, I didn't prepare at all for this dungeon. I am out of food, I am pretty much out of drink, I am pretty much out of aid items, I am running out of ammo for all of my good weapons, and we are definitely on the struggle bus because of that. And I know, it's been drilled into my head ever since I was a little kid. The 5 Ps. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And we did not prepare at all for this, so it makes tons of sense that there is some poor performance. This area is one of our load saves that we ended up going back to about 2 or 3 times. This is an area where we started to struggle for sure. Also, too, in this area is at least 1, if not 2, different load save areas at that bed. I tried to sleep in the bed because I thought for a moment, I was like, wait, vanilla, I'm out of aid items to heal myself, but in vanilla, if you sleep, it heals you. Let me try to sleep real quick. Oh yeah, Tommy's a genius and loves to make things easy for himself. And in our settings, if you go all the way back to episode 1, which was our session 0, if you will, where we talked about the ground rules for the game, I showed off that I turned off that setting and it saves when I sleep. It does not heal me when I sleep. So yeah, again, literally boned because I did not prepare for this. But again, we are slowly but surely doubling back and going at it again. There are so many enemies left. Alright, so this is again another spot, this corner, where I took 2 of the grenades. Like, see, like, you would think from here, I'm in a good spot. But again, twice they got me, right from that spot. But we are so close. We've already downed the main guy, who's the head of the 1st Cavalry or whatever, 1st officers, I don't know, the 1st or whatever. I'm trying to double back because I need to take out those last handful of enemies. So once you take down, I think his name is Hull, but once you get him down like that, there is like a dialogue sequence before like the final confrontation, or I guess that is the final confrontation. But before you can actually have that dialogue sequence, you have to eliminate all of his henchmen, if you will. So we doubled back to try to get any food or healing items that we could find, because we just had that little sliver of red left. We don't have too much more, maybe like a third of our health at best, but we made it all the way back to near the beginning of this dungeon, and we couldn't find anything else. So I think this is the best we're gonna do. We just have to take a deep breath and hope for the best. Again, we've already died 5 times at this point, so I don't believe actually from this point forward that we died any other times. I think all of the deaths in that 2 hours of raw footage, I think all those have passed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And so there's those 2 here. So I had to snipe these guys out. Got one, or I get one, or I helped get one, and then I do the same thing for this other. I kind of just rely on my companion's help. I know that the dude's right there in that corner. So you can see him shooting. I'm trying to hit him with a grenade. Nothing's going. Oh, I'm back down. I got him. Yes. Oh, man. I have so little health. This is stupid. There's still 2, 3 bad guys left. Luckily that wall was there. Oh, maybe. Do I got more throwables? If as soon as I look over there, they're gonna pop me. Ooh! Let's go! Let's go! Got 2 with the grenade over the ledge. Let's go! Got all 3 of them. That's what I'm talking about. And there still is no food, of course, so let's get prepared, drop a save. You talk to Paxton. I gotta give him props, I guess. Even though I don't agree with the dude, he's got conviction, and I can respect that. He said, don't even worry about trying to take him in. You already know he's not about that life, and there's only one way that this is gonna end. So you go ahead and you end it. You collect all the loot that you can, and you make your way out the base, back to the ship, and you go fly off to confront Ron Hope. The main thing that Paxton lets you know there at the end in that last dialogue sequence is Ron Hope is the one who hired Paxton and coordinated and set up everything that's going on. All of it was a conspiracy and an inside job planned by Ron Hope himself, and Paxton gives you the hard evidence in the form of a data slate. And so you take that, you confront Ron Hope, you let him know, dude, I got this from the horse's mouth. You're coming with me, you're turning yourself in. Like any good bad guy, he tries to offer you to buy your silence. You can choose it. It is an option in the game. It would make sense for our character's backstory, but I just can't. We couldn't do it in the moment. We had to say no, we need to do the right thing, not take, it's like 20k credits. I mean, that's nothing anyway, but we go ahead and tell him no. He basically says, you'll never take me alive, and we have to oblige. We talked to his lady there, and she's super shaken up by it, but we let her know, look, we didn't want to do it, it just had to be done. And from there, we head back to the Rock on Aquila City. We talk to the Marshal and Emma. They tell us that we did a fantastic job, not including them at all in our decision to go confront one of the governors on the Council of Governors. And even more so, they're incredibly thrilled that we were judge, jury, and executioner for Ron Hope. They don't even have to deal with the headache. For our efforts, we got us a brand new ship. We got us a weapon. We got us a new spacesuit. And we are officially now Freestar Rangers. So I'm super happy. Great way to segue into Shattered Space next. I hope you guys like the video. I hope you press the like button. I hope you consider subscribing to the channel. It helps out a lot when you do. Let me know in the comments what you think down below. Take care.